Good morning. Today is Thursday, June 2nd, 2022. I'm Joe Terril, president of Terril & Company, independent wealth managers in St. Louis, Missouri, with approximately $700 million in discretionary funds under management. This is another update for our clients and followers and some of the analysts that pay attention to our opinions. Our opinion for the last year has been somewhat on the negative side about inflation and how the Federal Reserve Bank in the United States, as well as Federal Reserve or equivalency, Bank of Europe, Bank of Japan, etc., how they are going to prevent inflation from getting out of control, and how they're going to do all this without negative effects on the economy, negative effects on interest rates, etc. So with that said, I today wanted to talk about something that I don't want to get too technical on because a lot of our viewers would find it as boring, but the Federal Reserve Bank is getting ready to try a maneuver from a bank reserve standpoint that has never been done before. And there's a real debate and question about how are they going to be able to do this in the next 90 days without having a liquidity issue, having a very adverse effect upon interest rates, and will this work to bring down inflation? And it basically pertains to the fact that in 2008, 2009, the Fed printed money, but they injected it right into the banking system. The funds set on the balance sheets of banks. This last go around, when COVID hit and they expanded rapidly the money supply and printed more money, this time it went straight into the economy. And that has been very inflationary, as we all see now in our everyday life, with the price of food, the price of energy, the price of almost anything that you want to try and buy. So with that said, we believe strongly this is a great time to be very cautious, because if the Fed can use this new monetary approach to remove reserves, and if everything works perfectly, great. Maybe the markets might rally 5%, maybe they stay unchanged based upon other things going on. But if the Federal Reserve Bank is wrong and it doesn't work, then the markets could go down another 15 or 20%. Chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank, Jerome Powell, when questioned about this 2 or 3 weeks ago at his press conference and asked point blank, "Are you confident this will work?" his response was, "I don't know. I don't know whether it'll work or not." So to us, we just continue to be bearish, if you will, and very nervous about what comes down to the Federal Reserve Bank experimenting with monetary policy to see if they can pull this off without any adverse effects. So we have been sellers of most investments all year long, particularly some of our issues that have made new highs in price, and we continue to believe that's the correct policy throughout the summer while we see how this is going to work. For those that yesterday saw Jamie Dimon's comments, for those that don't know, he's the top person at JP Morgan, and Jamie Dimon has a pretty enviable track record in the last 25 years of being a great capital allocator, if you will. He was very bearish. He basically said that the economy and what's going on right now is like a hurricane right offshore. I can't tell you where it's going to hit, when it's going to hit, but when it does, it won't be great news. So either Jamie Dimon is now agreeing with the way we've looked at things for the last year, or we agree with him. That part of it is academic, doesn't make any difference. Our performance this year is positive for the year. While most people are down 20% or more, we think it's going to get worse for the people that are down 20% or more. People that think now's the time to buy these pullbacks. For the people that think somehow the Federal Reserve Bank is going to be able to get inflation back down to 2%, not affect the economy, not affect interest rates, not affect liquidity, and somehow all these things around the world are going to just work out perfectly. In our opinion, that's a flat-out naive approach. We don't see it happening without, quote-unquote, Jamie Dimon's comments of a hurricane hitting. So we continue to be very defensive. We're holding our gold stocks. We're holding some of our commodity stocks. We're holding a few companies that we think have special circumstances. But for the most part, we've cut our stock holdings way back. We have no exposure in fixed income other than on the very short end of the market, where basically they're riskless investments that we can make 3.25% on. That's a great place to hang out all summer long while we wait and see what will be the effects of what I think is a Federal Reserve Bank experiment. With that said, we thank you for tuning in today. Brian Curtis, thank you again for producing our video update. And we'll be back in another 2 to 3 weeks with further comments for our viewers. Thank you. Have a nice day.